Hello and welcome to this Wednesday broadcast of India Global with me, Arjun Samar Mahendra. And well, we've got a power-packed show lined up for you over the next 1 hour. But first, here are the headlines. Deposed Bangladesh Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina accuses Muhammad Yunus-led interim government of unleashing terrorists on the country. Dhaka hits back, reiterates Hasina's extradition is top priority. Weakened death by suicide of 20-year-old Nepalese student in Odisha's KIIT University sparks unprecedented wave of allegations, arrests, diplomatic tensions, and student unrest.
I think it's going very well. But today I heard, oh, well, we weren't invited. Well, you've been there for 3 years. You should have ended it 3 years. You should have never started it. You could have made a deal.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky hits back after Trump's scathing comments, says protests living in Russian disinformation space. Militant group Hamas set to free 6 Israeli hostages on Saturday, promises to hand over bodies of 4 other deceased hostages this Thursday. And within days of posting job openings, Elon Musk-led Tesla reportedly picks showroom sites in capital New Delhi and financial capital Mumbai to start India sales. On to a big story this Wednesday broadcast in a Zoom call that has further complicated the already complicated South Asian political landscape. Bangladesh's exiled former PM Sheikh Hasina unleashed a storm of accusations against interim government led by Muhammad Yunus, calling him a mobster and even claiming he has unleashed terrorists upon her nation. Now, Hasina vowed to return and avenge the death of our policeman. With the scars of last year's student uprising still fresh, Hasina recalled the tragic killings of 4 policemen, blaming Yunus for masterminding the bloody events that led to her ouster. I will return and ensure justice for all of you, she declared with an unwavering resolve. Her words a promise to confront the chaos she believes Yunus has unleashed. Listen in. Well, for more on this story, I'm joined by my colleague Gauri Dwivedi. Gauri, given the gravity of Hasina's accusations, do you think it is only Yunus's government responsible actually for the violence, or could there be other more sinister forces in this case at play in the volatile political situation?
Arjun, a large part of the blame of what Bangladesh has really become right now rests with Muhammad Yunus. He is the head of the interim government. It's been over 6 months. And the country is nowhere close to achieving the kind of normalcy that one had hoped that the country would achieve. The turmoil, which started with student revolution, really quickly snowballed into something much bigger. And since then, the complete collapse of the law and order and the administrative machinery is something that rests solely on Muhammad Yunus's desk. However, as far as some of the other forces that you mentioned, one needs to keep in mind there are a lot of these radical Islamist extremist elements that are not part of Muhammad Yunus's government, but have been very important in the turmoil in the last 6 months. And they've played a very important role in how Bangladesh has really shaped up into the kind of chaos that it finds itself in, whether it is the Jamaat-e-Islami, whether it is radical elements within the BNP as well. All of them are forces that are at play. So, of course, a lion's share of the burden does rest on Professor Yunus's desk, but one cannot rule out the role that some of these other extremist elements have played. And that is something that Muhammad Yunus has not been able to address so far.
Gauri, speaking about the international community, which has been very active and vociferous, if I may say, on this story, how do you assess the international community's reaction to these ongoing tensions between Yunus interim government and former PM Hasina?
Arjun, a lot has changed ever since the student revolution started on 5th of August. What has changed is there's now Mr. Trump who is in power, and there is now Tulsi Gabbard, who is the head of the intelligence agency at US. She's been more than once, she's publicly spoken about how Bangladesh's dissent has really been exacerbated in the last couple of months. She's spoken about the plight of Bangladeshi Hindus who've been at the receiving end of one of the most horrific crimes that Bangladesh has seen in the last couple of months. Those are very important extraneous factors that will have an impact on Bangladesh's future from here on. What happens between India and Bangladesh is a bilateral issue. There are several issues that the two sides are trying to address. Remember, Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri did go a couple of weeks back to Bangladesh on a one-day visit to try and iron out some of these issues that have sprung up in a bilateral relationship, which ideally must survive regimes. It should be agnostic to regimes. But some of these external factors, as I mentioned, whether it is the Trump administration, whether it is Tulsi Gabbard, who's going to really lead the intelligence apparatus at America, is going to have an impact on Bangladesh going forward. Hopefully for the better, it will hopefully exacerbate the electoral roadmap that Yunus has spoken about several times, but hasn't really moved forward on.
Of course, thank you so much for your inputs, Gauri. And what she said, sticking points, still a lot of sticking points there. Meanwhile, listen into what Hasina has said.
ইনশাল্লাহ প্রত্যেকটা পরিবারের যা যা লাগে সব সহায়তা আমি দেব আর হত্যাকারীদের বিচারও করব বোধহয় ওই জন্যই বোধহয় আল্লাহ বাঁচিয়ে রেখেছে আমাকে সেটাই আমি মনে করি কাজে আমি এটুকু তাদেরকে কথা দিতে পারি যে এই ধরনের অপরাধে যারা জড়িত ষড়যন্ত্রের সাথে জড়িত এবং এখন পর্যন্ত দেশকে যারা জঙ্গির দেশে পরিণত করে একের পর এক মানবাধিকার লঙ্ঘন করে যাচ্ছে তাদের বিচার বাংলা মাটিতে হবে এবং আগামীকালের যে
Meanwhile, over in New Delhi, the biannual DG-level border talks between India and Bangladesh kicked off on Tuesday amid a high-stakes diplomatic setting. Now, this marks the first meeting since the fall of the Sheikh Hasina government last August. As the border security force meets with the border guard Bangladesh, tensions rise over pressing issues such as obstruction of fencing work, attacks on BSF personnel, and cross-border crimes. Now, these talks come at a time when relations have been rather strained after both nations summoned each other's diplomats in December. The BSF is expected to, in fact, voice concerns over violent incidents involving Bangladeshi miscreants, also calling for stronger action against the trans-border crimes. On the agenda, securing a resolution for the 864-kilometer unfenced stretch of the 4,096-kilometer-long boundary, addressing infrastructure gaps and reinforcing the coordinated border management plan. The outcome of these discussions could very well shape the future border security cooperation between the two South Asian countries. Now, the summit, which is taking place at the BSF headquarters here in New Delhi, will conclude with a joint statement of discussions on the 20th of February, that's Thursday. But it remains still to be seen whether it will ease tensions or further escalate them. For more on this story, we're joined by my colleague Neeta. Neeta, if you can hear me, given the recent diplomatic tensions between the countries, how likely it is really, that these talks will result in a significant breakthrough or progress on border security issues?
See, both the sides are trying at least to come to an understanding. We have to also remember that an MOU numerous MOUs have been signed between both the nations between 1975 to 2021. As per these MOUs, there is a zero line which defines the international border, and from the zero line till up to 150 yards, no construction can be done. And now this fencing which was happening, as per Bangladesh's claim, they say that some of the area was falling under this jurisdiction, the jurisdiction of 150 yards. Now both the sides have agreed to come out with joint inspection teams. These inspection teams are going to do audit of the entire area. About 900 kilometers of the area is still to be fenced. So the entire area is going to get audited again. Both the sides are going to submit their inspection reports to their home ministries, and from there the things are going to be taken forward. But it's a strenuous exercise as far as the border security force is concerned. They say that they have conveyed to the border guarding forces of Bangladesh that security measures at the border, including on the fencing of India, needs to be observed. All the protocols need to be observed. So that has been the line which the Ministry of Home Affairs and the Border Security Force has been taking as far as these talks are concerned.
Thank you so much for your inputs, Neeta. And of course, we'll follow up this story tomorrow when the statement actually comes out. Meanwhile, Odisha Chief Minister Mohan Charan Manji has urged Nepalese students of Kalinga Institute of Industrial Technology, or KIIT as it's known, to return to campus and resume studies, assuring them that peace and normalcy will be restored soon. Around 1,000 Nepalese students of KIIT were issued suspension notices and even asked to leave the campus immediately by the institute's authorities this Monday, following protests after the body of a student hailing from the neighboring country, Nepal, was found hanging from the ceiling of a hostel room on Sunday. However, following the intervention of the centre and the state governments, the KIIT authorities tendered an apology and requested the Nepalese students to return back to campus. Now, earlier, Nepal Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli, in a post on social media platform X on Monday, had said, "Our embassy in New Delhi has dispatched 2 officers to counsel Nepali students affected in Odisha. Additionally, arrangements have also been made to ensure they have the option to either remain in the hostel or to return home." Now, this is based on their preference. Nepalese students of KIIT alleged they encountered harrowing experiences, in fact, following the protests over the unnatural death of the student, including being moved out of campus and left at Cuttack railway station, besides being roughed up, leaving many of them, in fact, scarred and fearful of returning to the campus. Now, I'm joined by my colleague Prabhakar for the latest on this. Prabhakar, how do you think the recent suspension of the Nepalese students at KIIT and their subsequent treatment has affected the diplomatic relationship between New Delhi and Kathmandu?
It has indeed taken a toll, and it was actually at the intervention of the Nepalese Prime Minister that this matter not only got flared up, but the entire machinery got activated, right from the Odisha government to the local police administration, which is investigating the suicide case of that particular girl from Nepal, and also the central government. Even the Ministry of External Affairs got involved into it. And that is the reason why we are seeing the arrest of 5 persons from the KIIT University, including the 3 of the directors. They were arrested yesterday, and later they were released on bail. And now the university has also rolled back its order of the eviction order, basically, which was issued to all the Nepali students over there, and they were asked to immediately vacate the hostel and move to their respective homes. Now that order has been reversed, and they are being called now. And as we speak, today evening, the KIIT University has organized a Zoom call with all the parents of the students who have left the campus or who are inside the campus, but all of them who are hailing from Nepal, to assure them that there would be no untoward incident, they will not be victimized, they will not be targeted, and they will lead a normal life as any other student of any other nationality, and even the university would not take any punitive action against them. So the rollback by the university, the swift action by the administration, the statement by the Odisha Chief Minister, it is all because of the Prime Minister, Nepal Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli's intervention, his post on X, and the activation.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your inputs there, Prabhakar. I'd also like to point out, now this follows the move by the Nepalese government to reconsider, in fact, providing NOCs to students to go and study in private colleges in Odisha as we speak. We'll keep on getting you latest, but it's time we slip into a quick break. On the other side, in fact, we get you all the latest updates from West Asia and the Ukraine conflicts. Stay tuned.
Meet Simple's Active Skin Barrier Care Cream, clinically proven to reduce water loss in just 2 hours, helping skin repair itself. Use it in the morning as part of your routine, and it'll be working before noon, with the power of 22% replenishing nutrients, giving you long-lasting hydration for visibly healthy-looking skin. Simple's active skin barrier care range. Powerful results, suitable for sensitive skin.
Your brain really matters.
With Post Office Over 50s life cover, enjoy peace of mind knowing your family will receive a guaranteed payout when you're gone. UK resident 50 to 80, you're guaranteed acceptance. No health checks and free 24/7 GP access with the health and wellbeing benefit. Purchase and receive a £125 gift card. Plus, get an extra £30 winter warmer cashback. Call Post Office on 0800 328 6666.
Who doesn't love a good deal?
Meal deals.
Be rude not to deals. Seal deals? Or a bit of deal or no deal? We've got free-to-play deals with no deposit required. And up to £1,000 to be won every day. Get that good deal feeling only at Tombola. Open for fun.
Welcome back. You're watching India Global with me, Arjun Samar Mahendra. News from West Asia now. The dramatic development in Gaza, where all 6 remaining hostages, in fact, in the first phase of the ceasefire deal, are slated to be released this Saturday, marks a significant moment in the ongoing negotiations between Israel and Hamas, the two adversaries. The release will include 2 long-held Israelis, Avera Mengstu and Hisham al-Sayed, who were captured after entering Gaza on their own in 2014 and 2015. However, the announcement of the release was overshadowed by the news that the bodies of Shiri Silberman Bibas and her 2 young children, Ariel and Kafir, would be returned to Israel. This revelation dashed any remaining hopes that the Bibas family might still be alive. Meanwhile, Hamas has submitted a new proposal to release all hostages at once in phase 2 of the deal. Now, this contrasts with the initially agreed staggered release. This shift in approach appears motivated by Hamas's desire to avoid a resumption, in fact, of Israeli military operations in the enclave. Now, despite this potential step forward, the families of hostages are growing increasingly desperate. Some are even demanding urgent updates from Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu on the stalled negotiations for phase 2. In a separate development, the Israeli Defense Forces have withdrawn from most of southern Lebanon following a 90-day ceasefire agreement with the country, further reshaping the geopolitical landscape in the region. My colleague Mohammad Ghazali brings us the latest on these shifting geopolitical sands of West Asia, as they are called. Ghazali, how significant is Hamas's proposal to release all the hostages at once? And what impact could it have on the ongoing ceasefire negotiations with Israel?
See, Hamas has been showing that kind of seriousness by offering a new proposal, because last time, if you remember, in the previous stages of releasing the hostages, Hamas at once had stopped releasing the names a few days before the scheduled stage and had said that we want to express our concerns that how Israel has been violating the ceasefire. And now, by offering it, they yet again want to convey a message through the mediators that they're very serious for following the ceasefire guidelines or the rules as laid down by the mediators. And that is why they want to release all the hostages in one go. But what they're asking for is a big concession in this deal. They're asking for full withdrawal of Israeli forces from the Gaza Strip, which is something Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has time and again refused to do that, even while talking or even while discussing it with his partners in West Asia, be it US President Donald Trump or with the mediators in Egypt and Qatar. Because what is Benjamin Netanyahu has said that the entire objective of this war was to eliminate Hamas and ensure that Hamas never recovers from this blow and never gets to govern the Gaza Strip. But if Israeli forces withdraw from the Gaza Strip, then certainly Hamas is the only militant group over there which can govern Gaza. And that is what the risk Israel says it poses to the security and safety to its citizens. And that is why Israeli Prime Minister will not be agreeing to this proposal, but we'll have to see that how negotiators from Egypt and Qatar will have to
Ghazali,
convince Israel
very
also
quickly,
to get
like you mentioned, the human cost of war is more often than not overlooked in such geopolitical stories, which are constantly sort of changing and evolving. Now, given the recent tragic announcement of the return of the Bibas family bodies, how's the emotional toll on hostages' families influencing the broader negotiation process, or is it not?
It certainly is posing influencing the decision of the Israeli government, because all this while the right-wing parties in the Israeli government go to
Well, moving on from one war to another, in a fiery exchange that sent shockwaves through global diplomacy, US President Donald Trump took a jibe at Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky on Tuesday, accusing him of starting the ongoing war with Russia. Trump, never one to mince words, called Zelensky a grossly incompetent leader and even suggested he should have struck a deal with Moscow nearly 3 years ago to prevent the conflict from ever spiraling out of control. The US president's comments followed a high-stakes round of talks in Riyadh, where Russia and the US discussed potential steps towards ending the war, but Ukraine was conspicuously absent from the table. Zelensky, voicing his frustration, declared that Kiev, in fact, would not accept any agreements made without its involvement. Trump, undeterred, responded bluntly, "You've been at this for 3 years. You should have ended it already. You never should have started the war in the first place." Listen in.
And I think I have the power to end this war. And I think it's going very well. But today I heard, oh, well, we weren't invited. Well, you've been there for 3 years. You should have ended it 3 years. You should have never started it. You could have made a deal. I could have made a deal for Ukraine that would have given them almost all of the land, everything, almost all of the land, and no people would have been killed, and no city would have been demolished, and not one dome would have been knocked down. But they chose not to do it that way. And President Biden, in all fairness, he doesn't have a clue. What he was so bad for this. He was so bad, so pathetic, so sad.
Meanwhile, the head of the British Army, in fact, has reportedly expressed disgust after more than 1,000 women came forward to describe shocking accounts of sexual abuse and harassment within the military. Now, the revelations come as an inquest examines the death of 19-year-old Gunnar J.C. Beck, who was found hanged at the Lockhill camp in December of 2021. In a letter exclusively obtained by the Times UK, General Sir Rolly Walker condemned the appalling and shameful behavior directed at female soldiers, suggesting that senior officers may be complicit, in fact, in allowing such conduct to continue. Now, his comments follow disturbing reports of women being subject to rape, harassment and bullying, with some feeling forced to remain silent due to the stigma and lack of accountability in the UK Army. A social media account, Fill Your Boots, has been flooded with messages from victims, including one woman who detailed being groped and assaulted, in fact, by a senior officer. Others described terrifying encounters, including threats of rape and incidents being brushed aside by military police. Despite previous pledges to stamp out abuse, former Veterans Minister Johnny Mercer called the stories a profound failure in UK leadership. In response, the Ministry of Defence reaffirmed its zero-tolerance stance on sexual misconduct, promising severe consequences for those responsible. The inquest into Beck's tragic death is still ongoing. Meanwhile, Elon Musk's Tesla is expected to enter the Indian market as early as April this year, sources have said. The EV giant is setting up its first showrooms, in fact, in India, moving closer to launching its vehicles in the country. Now, the company has secured prime locations reportedly in New Delhi's Aerocity and financial capital Mumbai's Bandra Kurla complex. Tesla has also been searching for showroom spaces since late last year after shelving its India plans in 2022. Now, the company will sell imported EVs, but these locations are not service centers, a source has clarified. The company has not yet announced opening dates for the showrooms. Here's more from my colleague Tushardeep Singh.
So what we are gathering from sources is that Tesla will enter India in the second half of 2025 with the Model Y in tow, because that's one of the two right-hand drive cars that Tesla makes at this point of time. The Model Y right-hand drive, or the RHD, is manufactured in Berlin, while the Model 3 right-hand drive is manufactured in Shanghai. So the likelihood of of the Model Y right-hand drive coming in from Berlin is higher as compared to the Model 3 RHT coming in from Shanghai because of the import restrictions that India has placed on China at this point of time. The Model X, the Model S, as well as the Cybertruck will not come to India because they are only available in the left-hand drive configuration at this point of time. Like you said, yes, completely imported cars, completely built-up units, which is CPU, no assembly operations at this point of time. New jobs have also been announced, one for an engineering post in Pune and as a charging developer in Mumbai.
It's time we slip into another break, much more on the other side.
When I woke up, they said, Alyssa, you've got leukemia. We found out that the chemo wasn't working.
Cancer is still the biggest killer of children in the UK, but innovative new treatments could help beat cancer for more children like Alyssa.
I'm cancer-free now.
Text, call or search to give £3 a month and help build a new children's cancer centre at Great Ormond Street Hospital. So together we can save more lives.
I'm a simple man, but now I'm in my 50s, things are getting a little more complicated. Retirement's peeking around the corner, and I wanted to make sure my family would be really looked after if anything happened to me. That's why I decided to learn more about over 50s life insurance from Cover Today.
They're the only over 50s life insurer with no waiting period.
Unlike other insurers who could make you wait up to 2 years, with Cover Today, you're fully covered from day one. And you're covered for the whole of your life.
Plus, unlike other things in life, the price never goes up. Learning more couldn't be simpler. Go online or talk to their friendly UK team in just one phone call.
Cover Today are the only over 50s life insurer with no waiting period and no annoying trips to the doctors either.
Now I'm with Cover Today, I can get on with something much more interesting.
Plus, you get your choice of a £125 gift card. To find out more about Cover Today, call our friendly UK team on 0808 143 4774 or visit covertoday.co.uk.
From interesting tech startups to industry-leading companies, politics, sports, culture, curry, cricket. Oh, there's so much to talk about. Like me, if you too thrive on interesting conversations, this is a show you cannot miss. Watch this space to know more about all matters and all people that make Britain what it is today. Out of Britain, with me, Radhika Iyer.
In today's interconnected world, India's voice is more crucial than ever. When India speaks, the world listens. At NDTV World, we are that voice, bringing you intelligent and insightful news from India and beyond. From geopolitics and diplomacy to economic shifts, migrations, tech disruptions, and the stories of our diaspora. We cover the news that shapes our global future. NDTV World, your new home for global news is here.
From interesting tech startups to industry-leading companies, politics, sports, culture, curry, cricket. Oh, there's so much to talk about.
Welcome back. You're watching India Global. I'm Arjun Samar Mahendran. On to some election news now. Germany is set for a crucial snap election on the 23rd of February, this Sunday, triggered by the dramatic collapse of Chancellor Olaf Scholz's coalition. NDTV's Ridhima Kedia brings you this report on the major issues, in fact, at play in this high-stakes election. Take a look.
Germany heads to the polls on February 23rd in a high-stakes snap elections triggered by the collapse of Chancellor Olaf Scholz's fragile three-way coalition. As Europe's largest economy stands at a turning point, the vote will decide who leads Germany and shape the future of Europe. The race is wide open, with 7 parties vying for power. But all eyes are on 4 key contenders: incumbent Olaf Scholz, centre-left Social Democrats battling against the conservative CDU-CSU alliance, the pro-climate Greens, and the far-right Alternative for Germany, or AfD. Smaller players like the pro-market Free Democrats, far-left Link, and the newly formed Zara-Wagenknecht alliance are fighting for survival. Polls suggest they could miss the critical 5% threshold needed to enter parliament. Foreign policy is at the heart of this election, especially when it comes to Germany's stance on Russia's war in Ukraine. The mainstream parties are united in backing Kiev, but deep divisions persist. Scholz's SPD is striking a cautious tone, stressing diplomacy. Yet the Conservatives, Greens and Free Democrats are pushing hard for Germany to deliver long-range Taurus missiles. In stark contrast, the far-right AfD and BSW want a complete halt to weapons shipments and a reset in relations with Moscow. But the economy is an issue hitting home hardest. After 2 straight years of contraction, Germany's worst economic performance in 2 decades, voters are demanding answers. Energy prices are squeezing households and businesses alike. While there's consensus on expanding renewables, the real battle is over funding. Scholz wants to boost private investment with a €100 billion fund. The Greens back relaxing Germany's strict borrowing limits. Conservatives are promising tax cuts for businesses and citizens without revealing how they plan to fund it. Meanwhile, the AfD's radical stance includes ditching the euro entirely, reintroducing the Deutschmark, and even considering leaving the European Union. Migration and security are flashpoints. A spate of violent attacks involving foreign suspects has stoked public fears. The Conservatives demand tighter asylum rules and curbs on family reunifications. The AfD goes further, calling for border closures and mass deportations. Even Scholz's SPD has shifted rightwards, tightening border checks and speeding up deportations. But the Greens remain the outlier, standing firm on open asylum policies, state-backed sea rescues, and easier family reunifications. With the far-right AfD gaining ground and traditional powerhouses losing support, this snap election could redefine Europe's largest democracy. The big question: who will lead Germany into an uncertain future? With Rhythm Arcadia, Bureau Report, NDTV World.
Over to Washington now, where the White House has ignited a massive backlash after posting a provocative 41-second video titled ASMR Illegal Alien Deportation Flight. Now, the clip shared on social media platform X shows detainees in chains and handcuffs being led to a deportation flight in Seattle. With close-ups of shackles and restraints laid out on the tarmac, the term ASMR, typically associated with soothing sounds, has drawn intense criticism for its stark contrast to the harsh images of immigration enforcement. Now, the video initially shared by ICE has been reshaped, in fact, by the White House, with the clip of an officer adjusting a detainee's collar moved to the beginning of the clip. The post has sparked outrage across social media, with critics calling it a disturbing and dehumanizing portrayal of immigrants. Meanwhile, critics are also slamming ex-founder Elon Musk for commenting "haha wow" on the contentious clip. And the probability of a city-killer asteroid hitting Earth in 2032 just increased to 1 in 32, or 3.1%. Now, according to NASA, asteroid 2024 YR4 has an estimated diameter of around 177 feet. It's roughly the size of a building, if you may. While it is too small to end human civilization altogether, the asteroid could very well still wipe out a major city. However, despite the odds, experts have said that there is no need for alarm. Experts also say that there's still a 96.9% chance that the asteroid will miss Earth entirely. And as research learn more about its trajectory, the odds of a strike are likely to decrease to 0% based on its current risk level in the NASA data. My colleague Vishal Vivek brings you this report.
An asteroid that could do some considerable damage has a 3.1% chance of striking Earth in 2032, according to the NASA. The developments make it the most threatening space rock ever recorded by modern forecasting. The global astronomical community has its gaze fixed on the object known as 2024 YR4. Astronomers estimate its size to be between 40 to 90 meters wide. The most likely scenario, if the object enters the Earth's atmosphere, is an airburst, meaning it would explode mid-air with a force of more than 500 times the power of the Hiroshima bomb. However, experts also add there's no need for alarm.
The most likely outcome is that it will not hit, and so nobody's panicking yet. We're in the process of, not us, but other organizations that are affiliated with planetary defense, and just starting to think about if that probability continues to go up.
Experts suggest that there is plenty of time to act. While NASA's 2022 DART mission proved that spacecraft can successfully alter an asteroid's path, scientists have theorized other methods to counter such scenarios. With Vishal Vivek for NDTV World, Bureau Report.
It's time we step into a short break. Much more on the other side.
What are you so happy about?
I've just made a claim. We could be owed thousands.
My claim group?
Yeah, the cars we bought on finance, well, the lenders could have charged hidden commissions. It's dead simple to claim.
Hey, I had 2 cars before we met.
Go to My Claim Group. You could be owed thousands in hidden commissions from cars you bought on finance since 2007, even if you can't remember the details.
Done.
Simple, eh?
Go to My Claim Group now.
Claims made simple.
I'm a simple man, but now I'm in my 50s, things are getting a little more complicated. Retirement's peeking around the corner, and I wanted to make sure my family would be really looked after if anything happened to me. That's why I decided to learn more about over 50s life insurance from Cover Today.
They're the only over 50s life insurer with no waiting period.
Unlike other insurers who could make you wait up to 2 years, with Cover Today, you're fully covered from day one. And you're covered for the whole of your life.
Plus, unlike other things in life, the price never goes up. Learning more can be simpler. Go online or talk to their friendly UK team in just one phone call.
Cover Today are the only over 50s life insurer with no waiting period and no annoying trips to the doctors either.
Now I'm with Cover Today, I can get on with something much more interesting.
Plus, you get your choice of a £125 gift card. To find out more about Cover Today, call our friendly UK team on 0808 143 4774 or visit covertoday.co.uk.
Play the Great Big Lottery and you can help make more wins happen at Great Ormond Street Hospital. You can help our play team bring fun to Rajveer's ward. You can help researchers like Professor Booth discover new treatments. And you can help children like Yumna go home sooner. That's the biggest win of all for her family. It's a great way to make more wins happen and even become a winner yourself. Call or go online now to play for just £1. There's up to £10,000 up for grabs in our annual Super Draw, plus a £1,000 jackpot every week, and many more great cash prizes. And you'll be funding the research, treatments and support that would help to ensure that no childhood is lost to serious illness. So call 0800 055 7976 or search Gosh Lottery now for a chance to win big prizes and make more wins happen.
Our first year as a family flew by, and now I want to make sure he'll be financially protected for all his birthdays to come. That's why I'm calling Smart Insurance.
Just like families, not all life insurance is the same.
That's why we offer the Smart Family Guarantee. We guarantee a straightforward application process, award-winning service you can trust, and cover from day one. Plus, you get your choice of a £125 gift card.
To get a free quote today, call our specialist UK team or visit smartinsurance.co.uk.
And as UK-India trade talks resume this month in New Delhi, NDTV World caught up with the Lord Mayor of London, Alistair King, while he was in Mumbai to in fact strengthen the already strong ties between London and New Delhi. Now, just last year, the UK's trading relationship with India was worth £42 billion and supported over 600,000 jobs across both the countries. He says he looks forward to further collaboration between the two nations. Listen in and have a wonderful day.
Hello everyone, welcome to the special interview session. I have a special guest with me, Lord Mayor of London, Alistair King. In fact, he is in Mumbai to strengthen Indo-UK relationship, and he will also tell us how he plans to sort of collaborate with us even better in the years to come. Thank you, Mr. King, Lord Mayor of London, for joining us on this important discussion. Let me start by asking you how your trip to Mumbai has been. This is not your first trip to Mumbai. You've worked here before for several years. You have been meeting thought leaders, financial industries, several from business sector as well. Take us through your meetings here and what your key takeaways from these meetings have been.
Well, first of all, it's lovely to be back in Mumbai. It's a city that I really like, and marvellous electricity and energy to it, which is so fabulous to be back. The Lord Mayor of London is a remarkable role. The Lord Mayor is the global ambassador for the United Kingdom's financial, professional, legal and maritime services. Represent 2.4 million people in the United Kingdom, which is 1 in 13 of the workforce, and responsible for about 14% of GDP. So it's a very substantial sort of sector of the UK economy. I've had a remarkable few days here in Mumbai. I've been meeting business leaders, of the very top business leaders. I've been meeting the head of the stock exchange, of SEBI, of the Reserve Bank of India. And I think really my job has been to try and talk about where are the opportunities that are for British businesses trying to do business here, more business here in India, and also where are the opportunities for Indian businesses to invest into the United Kingdom.
All right. Also, the UK-India trading relationship is valued at £41 billion annually, approximately. So in light of recent global, trade tensions, how do you sort of envision the partnership between India and UK sort of evolving? And what are the strategies to sort of mitigate some of the challenges as well? What are some of the strategies to enhance financial cooperation and collaboration between the two countries?
I think there are enormous opportunities to grow the relationship, financial relationship between India and the United Kingdom. We have remarkably sort of strong links between the two countries. We've also have some great examples of investment both ways, from India into the United Kingdom and also United Kingdom into India. We've got some very famous companies doing that, and many examples of that. But I think we certainly, from the United Kingdom point of view, we've been a little bit less adventurous in relation to going to remarkable developing and sort of high growth markets such as India. And I think part of my role is to encourage British businesses to go and look at the extraordinary opportunity here in India, growing at 6.5%, and just saying, here are the opportunities, go and take them.
And I'd like to know more about your Growth Unleashed mayoral theme. What does it entail? I mean, it's obviously about mutual investment. So what initiatives are being introduced for perhaps UK businesses to invest in India? How are you planning to encourage more UK businesses to invest in India, and vice versa, for Indian businesses to sort of see UK as a market? So take us through this entire initiative, which is Growth Unleashed.
the premise is the fact that financial and professional services, legal services and maritime services, that's where the growth is going to come from in the United Kingdom in the early years of this new government. Because the buildings are already built, the people are already trained, the regulatory system is not perfect, but it's world class. The missing ingredient is confidence, and so I'm trying to instill confidence into British businesses to go off to remarkable dynamic markets such as India. So what measures can I do to install more confidence? It's by leading by example, to go and see some of the remarkable business people here in India and try and work out new ways of doing business together. And I think also seeing those businesses talking about the foreign direct investment opportunities into the United Kingdom. So it's a two-way process.
Right, and also I'd like to ask about the recent announcement of reciprocal tariff by the US. That has been seen by many as a disadvantage as far as the business scheme of things are concerned. How might such policies really influence UK-India business dynamics, and what kind of strategies do you think your country must develop, that India must develop to mitigate some of these challenges as a result of this policy?
Well, the United Kingdom is famously a very open economy, and we put great store by continuing to be an open economy. Certainly when it comes to potential tariffs from the United States against the United Kingdom, we're a service-led economy, 80% services. It's much more difficult to put tariffs onto services than it is on the trading of goods. And so I sense that we may escape the worst of the tariffs in the United Kingdom ourselves. And I think in relation to India, let's see what actually transpires rather than the sort of the rhetoric. But I just think the relationship between India and the United Kingdom is extremely strong. And also there are, though there may be some obstacles put in the way, I'm absolutely sure that the desire to do business will overcome them.
You're saying these tariff policy may not affect at all as far as Indo-UK relations
let's see what actually transpires exactly, because I think that there's a lot of speculation out there and many rumours and all the rest of it. But let's see what transpires, and then we'll deal with the whatever is the actual situation rather than what might be.
All right. And also in your discussions with financial institutions, I believe you went to the RBI, you went to SEBI,
yes.
You've spoken to several financial institutions.
Yes.
What regulatory challenges have been identified that might hinder bilateral trade?
Well, I mean, I think it's certainly better. The business environment here is better than when I first came to do business here in India some 15 years ago. So it is wonderful to see the improvements that have been made, and so I can certainly report back to British businesses in financial, professional, legal, and maritime services to talk about the opportunities there. But certainly we've been talking about deregulation. We've been talking about the opportunities to allow new businesses to come in. We've also been talking about the changes that have just occurred in the Indian budget recently. For instance, allowing insurance companies to go from 74% up to 100%. London has the strongest insurance centre in the world, and so therefore that will be of enormous interest to British insurance companies, and I will certainly be encouraging them to do more business in India.
Right, you spoke about insurance sector. Now, as far as innovation and fintech are concerned, they are of course pivotal as far as the business world goes. But how do you assess the current collaboration between UK and India in the fintech domain, and what do you foresee in the future? Because it is an up and coming domain.
That's right. It's both the United Kingdom and India have extremely impressive fintech businesses. I mean, really, really world-beating businesses. And I think the opportunity to collaborate is there. And I think what I'm saying to Indian fintech businesses is when you want to internationalize your operation, then London is the obvious place to come. It has all the regulatory certainties, and it has a well-trodden path in relation to developing fintech businesses. And I think they're very attractive elements. But also the same message for British fintech companies. India is an incredible growing market, all sorts of opportunities out there. We've seen some good examples of British fintech businesses succeed here in India, and I'd like to encourage more to go off and do that.
All right, and you're coming from a financial capital to another financial capital, right? So there's a lot in common between London and Mumbai.
Yes.
You have had meetings with British businesses who are operating in
Yes.
Mumbai. So what are some of the challenges that they told you about? You know, what common barriers have been highlighted by several of these businesses, and how do you plan to sort of overcome them, or how do you see them overcoming some of the barriers when they operate their businesses in Mumbai? You are one of those. You have operated your business in the
that's
city.
right. Well, I think that what has been very interesting is speaking to British businesses about what opportunities does Gift City give to British financial businesses. That's something that's happened since I was doing business here in Mumbai. I think that therefore those sorts of innovative business structures, how can they take advantage of those and sort of build their businesses through that route. I think also the changes in the budget. How can they again take advantage of that? We talked to a British insurance two British insurance operations. Again, talking about the changes there. So I think that's interesting, and I think just sort of are there any ways in which we can sort of lobby Indian government to make some further changes, because that's we want to promote the success of British financial and professional services businesses around the world.
You're here as the Lord Mayor of London,
Yes.
but earlier in Mumbai, you had set up your business.
That's right.
So I'm sure there is a difference in the business scheme of things, in the general atmosphere as far as setting up of business is concerned. So what difference do you see? I believe you were here in 2015.
So I think from about 2008 through to 2015. That's right. And look, I very much enjoyed myself. We had 11 joint ventures around India, so I much enjoyed going to visit those joint ventures and working out the best strategy for those investments. But I think it was it's certainly. I think there's been a considerable improvement on the ease of doing business. Some of the licenses, permits and consents that we required then are no longer required now. And I think also it's a little bit easier to get around India than it was when I first started.
All right, and also let's talk about FTA, like Free Trade Agreement.
Yes.
With the resumption of FTA early in 2025, what are some of the primary objectives that the UK aims to achieve vis-a-vis UK-India collaborations?
Yeah, sure. Well, I know that the Secretary of State for the Department of Business and Trade from the United Kingdom, Jonathan Reynolds, is in Delhi next week, and I think that will start the process to start to renegotiate also start the negotiations again of the free trade agreement. There's certainly a great deal of willingness on the part of the United Kingdom to start those negotiations, and I think the other element is that we want to make sure that it has obviously covers the trade in goods, but also covers services as well, because as you know, the United Kingdom has such a strong services sector, and so therefore we want to make sure that the free trade agreement covers all those sectors. And I think though that there is a acceptance on the part of both India and the United Kingdom that it'll be some protracted, some tough negotiations, because we both have a lot to gain. But I think that I would hope that there's some real progress made soon.
So looking ahead, what is your vision for UK-India relationship, perhaps in the next decade or so? And given the challenges, how do you plan to navigate some of the challenges, potential geopolitical and economic challenges as far as the trade between the two countries are concerned? Your vision, your 10-year vision perhaps for the collaboration.
Well, I very much believe in the extraordinary India growth story. I mean, it is quite remarkable. I've seen it at first hand, and I think that there's very much I buy into the possibility of the Indian century. The sort of coming up, how India will develop and will grow. And I think part of my role as Lord Mayor is to celebrate the opportunity that London can play in that Indian growth story, because effectively we've got so many of the skills and so many of much of the expertise that India may require in order to build that. And so therefore I'm doing a series of events in London to celebrate the remarkable Indian growth story and the place that London can, or the part that London can play in that growth story.
So when you say remarkable Indian growth story, what does it entail? What do you think are the biggest sort of strong points of India? Is it the skill? Is it the fact that, is it the talent and the skill? Is it the education? Is it the population itself? The fact that, every year there are more skilled people that come out of India. So what is the great Indian growth story?
Well, I think it's many parts of exactly what you've said. Certainly the remarkable talent and the education of the people, the number. It's an extraordinary thing. But I think the only thing you've missed, I think, also is the remarkable ambition. That so many Indian sort of people and business people possess. This great desire to succeed and to beat the world. And I just think that's fabulous. And I would very much like London to make sure they're playing a really strong part in part of that ambition.
All right, great. Thank you so much. So that was the Lord Mayor of London, who spoke extensively on his vision as far as Indo-UK collaboration is concerned. Thank you for giving us all the insights into it. Yeah. And hopefully we look forward to see how these partnerships really grow. And we look forward to seeing you back here. Thank you for joining us on NDTV.
Thank you very much indeed. Good to see you.
Now I'm retired, I can spend more time with my grandson. I'm proud of him and want to help any way I can. Which reminds me.
Welcome to British Seniors, the UK's #1 rated provider of over 50s life insurance.
Hi, I'd like a quick quote.
No problem. We're proud to offer our seniors lifetime guarantee. With 100% of claims having been paid, we guarantee your premiums will never go up and that you'll speak to one of our specialists in the UK.
Well, that's good to know.
UK residents aged 50 to 80 are guaranteed to be accepted. Depending on your age, your loved ones can get a cash payout up to £10,000.
And that money can help with my funeral costs or even be used as a gift. I'll do it.
Plus, when you sign up, you'll receive a £135 gift card and free 24/7 GP advice and health services.
Thanks, Mum, for everything.
Be proud to protect your loved ones with British Seniors. To get a free quote today, call our UK team on 0800 158 552 or visit britishseniors.co.uk.
When I woke up, they said, Alyssa, you've got leukemia. We found out that the chemo wasn't working. So at that point, it was like, I'm gonna die. My consultant was looking for these clinical trials and she found this one at Great Ormond Street. I'm cancer-free now.
Curing Alyssa was a world first, but cancer is still the biggest killer of children in the UK. Will you help us do more? Search Gosh Care to give £3 a month and help build a new children's cancer centre at Great Ormond Street Hospital, a home for breakthrough research with world-class facilities to help beat cancer for more children. Together, with your kind support, we can help save lives and transform children's cancer care for decades to come. Text CARE to 70125 to give £3 a month and help build our new children's cancer centre. Together, we can beat cancer for more children.
I'll fix him, love. Poor pet. Just shows you never know what's going to happen. Which reminds me, I need to protect the life we've built. That's why I'm looking into Smart Family Life Insurance.
Hi, I'd like a quick quote, please. OK. You can choose a benefit amount up to £750,000, depending on your age. If you're a UK resident aged 18 to 64, you can apply with just a few health and lifestyle questions. For £250,000 of cover, the price starts at just £14.77 a month.
That's less than I thought. And it could help my husband with the mortgage.
Just like families, not all life insurance is the same. That's why we offer the Smart Family Guarantee.
That's good to know.
You'll also receive a 100% advance in the event of terminal illness and 10% cash back on your first year's premiums. That's the Smart Cashback. Plus, you'll also get your choice of a £125 gift card.
Protect the life you've built the smart way. To get a free quote today, call our specialist UK team on 0800 977 5753 or visit smartinsurance.co.uk.
This is NDTV, and you're watching NDTV 24/7.
The office
on Pandit Pant Marg. It's a special day for the BJP, 10 days after the party stormed back to power, ending its electoral vanvas exile of 27 long years. The party is all set to name its chief minister for Delhi, somebody who will decide the future for the capital of India. We're getting you celebrations, visuals, voices from the state office here. All the MLAs of the BJP have arrived, and they're in fact being welcomed by rows each. In fact, Parvesh Verma, the giant killer of this election who defeated Arvind Kejriwal, the supremo of Aam Aadmi Party, has also arrived long back. The central observers, Ravi Shankar Prasad and also O.P. Dhankar arrived, and Virendra Sachdeva, one of the first ones to arrive, the Delhi BJP president, Jay Panda, the in charge for the BJP, also the BJP's national vice president, is also in sight. In a few minutes from now, we are all set to know who the chief minister of Delhi is going to be. Remember, this is a historic moment for the BJP, having come to power in Delhi after 27 long years of struggle. But more importantly, who is going to be the chief minister? Is it going to be a combination of representation and reward, or is it going to be a surprise altogether?
Well, doles are not stopping over here at BJP state headquarters as the newly elected MLAs are arriving one after other. But it was Parvesh Verma, louder sound that I heard when Parvesh Verma arrived at the BJP state headquarters, and all the newly elected MLAs already arriving over here as well. It is, of course, a grand victory that Bharatiya Janata Party has got, and just few minutes from now, we'll get to know about the Chief Minister of the national capital, who would be taking oath tomorrow at Ramleela Maidan, a grand ceremony that is going to happen tomorrow at 12 noon with over 30,000 plus attendance. And it would be, of course, the legislative party meeting, which will be taking place shortly at the Bharatiya Janata Party state headquarters in Delhi. And finally, the name will be announcing. Ishika Verma is with us outside the BJP state headquarters. Ishika, what's happening? Has all the newly elected MLAs have finally arrived, and what time is the BJP legislative party meeting going to start?
Well, 8 p.m. is that time. We are expecting that the big announcement will happen. Who will be the next, in fact, who will be the Chief Minister of Delhi will finally be out. In fact, all the MLAs, all those 48 MLAs have already arrived at the Action Centre. That is the BJP Delhi headquarters. That is the 14 Pandit Pant Marg. And there, in fact, inside are also present the two central observers that have been appointed today, Ravi Shankar Prasad and O.P. Dhankar, who have with them the name of the Chief Minister that has been approved by the centre leadership. So certainly, in just a short while from now, we are expecting that, in fact, the curtains will be up on that name. But before that, as you rightly mentioned, we are at the Action Centre, and the dhol nagaras are not stopping. So the celebration mood is on. Certainly, you can see all those karyakartas here rejoicing at the moment, while in fact all the leaders are inside waiting for the name to be out. But there are certainly names, in the front runners list. There is also Parvesh Verma, also Rekha Gupta. There can be also a Banya face as well, is what we are hearing as per the party sources. But who will finally be the Chief Minister remains to be seen. So here, in fact, we are expecting that, in fact, in just a short while from now, the name will be out. But here, Negi, in fact, who has defeated Avadocha, has also just arrived at the party Delhi BJP office headquarters. So in just a while from now, Ashwarya, we are expecting the name will be out. But amidst all that, the celebration here at the Delhi BJP office is certainly not stopping. Over to you.
Thank you, Ishika. So the name of Delhi's Chief Minister, Delhi's BJP Chief Minister, is going to be announced anytime soon. Remember, this man or woman is going to be very important for the future of our capital. But this is a meeting not of consensus but of celebration. Most importantly, there are many names that are doing rounds. Remember, it's going to be a balancing act between reward, representation, and a figure that will emerge as somebody who knows how to maintain the trust of the BJP leadership, also knows how to take people along. Is it going going to be Parvesh Verma, the giant killer who needs to be rewarded, or is it going to be Vijayendra Gupta, who is probably one of the senior most MLAs of the BJP, or is it going to be somebody else? Well, we'll get to know all of that in a bit. Zainab Sikandar, political analyst, joins us now. Zainab, what is your quick sense on what are the top 3 qualities that the BJP leadership would be looking at this person all set to helm the government of Delhi, because Delhi is a city-state. There are many power centers here. Somebody who gets this responsibility has to work with the LG and most importantly also has to reshape the future of Delhi BJP. What do you think are the primary 3 characteristics the BJP leadership will be looking for in this person?
I think one of the first qualities that will fit very well right now, where Delhi is at, is someone who can, bring in governance, somebody who has a good track record from before. That's a must because, from where the BJP will be picking up from, they have a lot to prove because, don't forget, we have a lot of sitting MLAs of our also in the Vidhan Sabha this time. So there will be a lot of questioning done, there will be a lot of confrontations that will happen. So the first and foremost thing is someone who has a good track record, who can prove that they can give governance. I think the second thing that, I think the BJP would like to, have in the CM face of Delhi is someone who, seems to be progressive, someone who looks internationally very good, because don't forget, Delhi is the capital of India, and, whenever anything big happens, Delhi is at the center stage. So they would want, whoever is spearheading this union territory should be, someone who internationally also looks, very, sort of progressive, someone, who's out there, a good leader, who can represent the nation, the capital of the nation. And I think the third quality that BJP will look for is someone who can actually perform and can bring BJP back and keep all the MLAs and the clout together. That's a very important quality, that the person who they choose should also be popular among the MLAs of BJP and can make BJP stronger. Don't forget, BJP has come back after 27 years and, whoever will now take the leadership of BJP in Delhi will be someone very significant, So I think these are the 3 qualities that BJP will want to go in for. There is a 4th quality that I want to put in, but this is like a big guess from my side. And that will be that I think BJP will try and, put a female face in front. I mean, I'm not trying to suggest that it is Rekha Gupta ji, but I really have a gut feeling that they would want to put a female face in front because, for some divine reason, I feel Delhi has always, for some divine reason, a female face has always come in front, even when it's most unlikely. For example, what happened in the last term, it was so unlikely, for anyone to replace Arvind Kejriwal. But look, Atishi just came and, she became the CM. So Delhi has had this tradition of having female faces. So maybe that's a quality that, probably will be something that BJP will go in for.
Absolutely, a mix of a combination that we are expecting. The administrator who has that experience and also someone who can coordinate with the central leadership as well. What we've been told is the BJP legislative meeting, the all-important meeting that will choose and pick the chief minister for Delhi has begun at the BJP state headquarters. And what we are also being told is that BJP MP Manoj Tiwari has been speaking. Let's listen in.
इंतजार कर लेते हैं थोड़ा देर।
आपको लगता है कि कोई फीमेल मुख्यमंत्री मिलेंगी इस बार?
नमस्ते नमस्ते।
ये कह रही है
जय श्री राम।
अब तो बताइए,
जो कुछ भी होगा बहुत थोड़ी देर में आप सबके सामने होगा।
आपके नाम को लोग कह रहे हैं। जनता चाहती है कि आप मुख्यमंत्री बने दिल्ली के।
अच्छा निर्णय होगा, हम अच्छा निर्णय करके दे रहे हैं।
क्या कुछ कहेंगे? विधायक दल की बैठक मुश्किल हो रही है, कौन होगा मुख्यमंत्री अगला?
अभी पता चलेगा।
फिर भी
भैया बस विश्वास रखें, अच्छा होगा।
क्या पूर्वांचल का चेहरा हो सकता है दिल्ली में?
भैया
भारत गौरव मनोज तिवारी जिंदाबाद।
चल ले।
Well, that's Manoj Tiwari, former BJP Delhi president and also MP, the only MP who retained his ticket in the Lok Sabha elections of 2024, giving that very important voice there. Over to you, Sajjan. Tell me, Zainab pointed out this very important aspect to elections. She feels that, and I agree with her completely, that Delhi often has given this unusual situations for women to become the chief minister. We saw what happened with Arvind Kejriwal's arrest and, of course, his subsequent decision to not become the chief minister and Atishi emerging as the CM phase. But when it comes to Delhi, what are the different cohorts or, for that matter, groups of sections of people that the BJP will be extremely mindful of? There are the Purvanchalis, there are the Dehati voters, there is the urban-rural divide, there's also the class divide there, and of course women voters. What are the different aspects when it comes to voters that the BJP would want to satisfy and appease when it comes to its choice?
Yes, Vasudha, I do agree. I mean, besides Sheila Dikshit and Atishi, even Sushma Swaraj was the last BJP chief minister in 1998. So certainly women factor have been a consistent presence in Delhi political scenario. What factors would be therein? Certainly BJP would be very careful, extremely careful of retaining the lower middle class and poor segment support base which it got this time, because this was something that was keeping the BJP out of power in assembly elections since the 1998. Now the question is, do you need a CM face, to win over and hold on to that support base? I mean, not necessarily, because mind it, when it comes to the women vote support, be it Madhya Pradesh or Maharashtra, we have seen that even if you are not a woman face, the male chief ministers, be it Shivraj Singh Chauhan or Eknath Shinde, they have delivered. So has been the case of Nitish Kumar. Mamata Banerjee, of course, is an exception, but in Odisha also. So not necessarily we should assume that in order to kind of entrench the support of the poor segment, women, lower middle class, Purvanchalis, you need to have the CM face. Of course, these factors will be crucial when the ministries are being formed. This is one. Two, since this mandate is about governance and aspiration, and therefore BJP would be looking for a couple of attributes. One would be that somebody should be having some experience in governance, not necessarily as a ruling party in Delhi, but even in MCD and lots many other forums. Two, the person has to deliver to the tectonic aspiration wherein the landscape of Delhi should change, and therefore someone should also be having a technocratic mindset of a quick decision maker. And three, it also needs the mandate is a rainbow mandate coming from different demographies. So the person should also have the knack to carry everyone along, should not be excluding other sections. So that is why yes, lots many factors would be considered, taken into cognizance, but to do that, you do not need to have a CM face, because those factors can be taken into consideration effectively by continuing better schemes, by accommodating faces into the ministry. But as far as the CM face is concerned, mind it, it is going to be a triple engine, because now you have the central government, you have the state government, you are going to have the LG factor all in sync. Right.